everybody, and welcome to Just Saying. It is February 10th, 2013. And I'm Kim, and I'm joined here as I am every week by my frostbitten, snowflaked co-host, Mary.
Well, that's pretty accurate. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm all right.
If you notice, I'm wearing my frozen tundra sweater tonight. When I show up with this one or the green one, you know I'm cold.
Right?
Well, it's not that it's actually cold outside. It's just I spent the weekend at a wonderfully warm environment and came home to the refrigerator. So I have to get adjusted.
Yeah, there is that.
Well, it seems like we both had a busy weekend.
Yours was busier, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's talk about yours first.
There wasn't a whole lot to talk about ours. We investigated the shop, and we were going along swimmingly, got out the box and, doing our thing, and flipped it from FM to AM, and apparently AM, they had a lot of nasty things to say that I will not repeat.
So it was happening on the AM network.
Yeah, but as soon as the AM started getting ugly, the shop pretty much just calmed down and didn't want to wake back up.
Ah. Well, hopefully, did you review any audio yet?
No.
Maybe you'll get something really good. Be cool if the gentleman in the storage closet talked to you somewhat.
Yeah, I'm trying to get... My main goal was to try to get the name of the second guy in there now.
Okay.
Well, I always say good morning and goodbye to him, but I don't have his name to properly communicate with him.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know Miss Ann, I know Mr. O, I just don't know the third person.
You'll find out. Well, my weekend was pretty exciting. Really was totally different than what I'm used to when I go to the Battlefield Bed and Breakfast in Gettysburg. Normally, we're communicating with a lot of Civil War soldiers, but this time, apparently, the people who used to live in the farm before and after and during had some things to say, and it was really quite different. Lucky enough, we were joined by Robin Marie, who she's amazing when she starts channeling and she picks up spirits. And I got to tell you, Florence Tarbach, who we had on last week as our guest, she definitely floored her. Florence thought she could skip something in a recipe that she was making, and a spirit came right up and told Robin that she was missing an ingredient. And when we went down and mentioned it to her, it was just so funny that we knew about it, and she didn't want it to be known. So we have it on audio and video and a lot of other good things. So it was fun. It was a great weekend, and can't wait to go back as usual.
It's always fun up there. Of course, it's always some bizarre weather out there too.
That's what I was saying to one of the staff. She said, "Weren't you the guys that were here during that blizzard for Halloween?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "We were there for the blizzard for Halloween. We were there for Hurricane Sandy and a couple other weird storms." But it was really pretty. Yesterday it did snow, and I really didn't have plans of doing anything other than hanging out. And it turned out to be quite fun, because some people at the last minute actually came and made reservations, and we kind of did a little mini paranormal investigating thingy last night. So it was really good. But great big thank you to Florence for showing us again yet another wonderful, magnificent time, and her staff, Mark Sarrow and group. Oh, and we have a new member to our non-member team, and that's Tim Mothman Mueller. He's now our new video guy, and Mark's wife Jess, and of course Robin. And I never ever give shout outs to Rick, my husband. He did an excellent job with all the cameras and the cabling, so it takes a lot to put a production like that together, and we managed to pull it off. So thank you guys.
Yay, Vinny!
Yeah. So we have something
Wait.
cool.
I have to ask. Did you like the sand angel?
Did I what?
Did you like the sand angel?
I didn't open it yet. It's still in the box. I was going to open it and do show and tell with it, but I decided not to because I have something else to show and tell.
Okay.
But that will go on as the show starts. So, getting back to the show, I'm going to let you do the intros.
The gentleman we have this evening is an author of numerous books. He is a Bigfoot hunter and apparently now into werewolves. He's done lectures, speaking engagements, and is oh so much fun when you get him in a haunted building.
Oh yeah. and one thing I'm going to add about him, he really takes it in stride when he can't catch his flight.
He does. He's a very patient man. Our guest this evening is Joedy Cook. Hi, Joedy.
Hi, Joedy.
Hi, how you?
Fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Kim's smiling, so it looks like she's doing okay too. Hey, why wouldn't we be fine? We have you on tonight to talk to.
Right?
I know. I kept thinking it was tomorrow night, and I was like, oh, I was surprised that Aaron called, and I'm like, wait a minute. It's okay. It's tonight. I don't know. I wrote it down for tomorrow. So.
Well, hey, nothing like coming in, being fresh and not prepared. We can hit you with anything, and we'll just get these really good answers. So, my show and tell for tonight. You want to see what my show and tell is?
Okay.
I probably got something that Sal and Jen don't have yet.
What's that?
The book.
Your werewolf book. I have a copy of it.
What?
It's Werewolves, Myths, and
Oh,
Legends. It's your book. At least it has your name on it.
Oh, I got. Actually, I just got my books in last week and stuff because they were all on hiatus and stuff, and they were moving their location of their publishing company, which was real nice of them to kind of tell everybody until after that they moved.
So you're saying I actually got a copy of your book before you did? I've had it for about 3 weeks. I should have just ordered it and sent you a copy of your book.
No, I got them because I was going to send some to Kim to put in her bookstore. She wanted some books to put in her bookstore.
Yeah.
In her store.
Okay, gotcha. So
I put them right between Mary Gasparo's and Robin Marie's.
there you go.
Yep.
You'll be sandwiched in between the two of us. And speaking of Robin, she's in the chat room. She's jumping up and down, waving. Hi, Joedy. Tell Joedy I said hi.
Hello.
And she's making buttercream frosting, if that's supposed to mean something.
Yeah.
She's making it. So Joedy, every time we bring you on, we talk Bigfoot, which, I'm always like, how much can we talk about Bigfoot? And next thing you know, we have like 2 minutes left, and we never get into UFOs and, conspiracy theories. And now we have a new topic to talk about, werewolves. Where did this come from?
Oh. Well, this man, so I'm working on a new book called The Ohio Dog Man Werewolf Sightings on the Northeast, which is dealing with different sightings from just the northeast of the United States, because that's where the biggest part of the flap is. And through, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. Majority of, through history of the sightings have been in that large pocket there. Okay, you've had other sightings like in California, Texas, in different parts of the South, but it's just been smaller little pockets. But when you get up to like Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York State, Rhode Island. Um, you know, I mean, that's where just the majority of all the sightings are taking place right now, and really out through history, and that's where everything is basically coming out of right now. That's where I'm basing my book on. So, through when I was doing a lot of the Bigfoot stuff, I mean, I was getting a lot of reports and things that people were seeing, what they were describing Bigfoot, with having a snout, but they were describing it different with 20 ears and things. They weren't realizing that it was a dog man. But they weren't really able to see like the legs, where the legs were more backwards, like how a dog is. Ohio, a lot of sightings that take place in Ohio, like in Defiance, Ohio, back in '72. For like a week, the whole town was being terrorized by what they were saying were werewolves. 2 railroad workers were attacked, livestock was attacked. I'm talking like cattle and things, dogs and stuff. I mean, the police were out looking for it.
Are you talking about? Yep. Are you talking about in what is it? The Defiance, Ohio?
Yeah, Defiance, Ohio. And it was like that for a week. And that was in '72, and it made worldwide news. And they're still having cases in Akron, Norton, Ohio.
Right.
Like I said, they still have sightings in Defiance, Germantown, just different parts. I mean, Michigan is still having a lot of sightings. Minnesota, Wisconsin is having a lot of sightings taking place there. Pennsylvania. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now with the Dogman stuff, and I was going to do for like Mysteries Monsters. I was going to do something with them, on that. But they just had so much information they were doing for the show with Linda Godfrey and some of the other people. They wanted to basically keep it with Wisconsin and Michigan, which was good and turned out real good. But it just would have been too much information that they would have had and things. So.
As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, that I was at Gettysburg all weekend, and everybody went home yesterday, and Rick and I, you remember Rick, and I always stay an extra day to kind of unwind and chill out and just enjoy the place, because when I go on location, and I'm running these things, I never have that kickback time. So yesterday, afternoon, it started to snow. It was beautiful, picturesque, and I'm kicking back and I'm flipping through the channels on the television, and here's that show on Destination America, and it was about werewolves. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to watch it to see whether or not you were making an appearance on it, and it was a story about this woman. She was driving down one of these, deserted-looking roads with all trees and wooded lots, and it was nighttime, and she sees something, and here it's this, their recreation of what she described, okay? And her car shuts down. She couldn't start her car. I mean, I was waiting for them to say it was like alien related, and this thing with its glaring green eyes. Well, eventually she got her car started. The thing started like chasing after her car, and she backs out and gets out of there. And she comes running home, and she tells her mom. And for a while, they sat on it. They didn't say anything to anybody because they thought people are going to think we're crazy, And I would probably think that, well, if I wasn't involved in this field, I would probably think the same thing. But there's enough of us like-minded people, like I would call you up and say, yo, Joedy, I think I just saw a werewolf, and you wouldn't think I was a whack job. But anyway, eventually they came forward because the mother was worried maybe this thing followed her home. It might hurt somebody else or whatever. So they did go to the police department and told the police department about it, and here others had come forward. So I didn't quite catch the town because when I was flipping, it had already started. So how often do things like this occur and people just don't bother to say anything?
it happens all the time. That took place, I think, back in the '80s. Actually, um, that particular sighting there on the Bright Road. Um, so I mean, it happens all the time where people see stuff and they're just, they're not telling me anything. I mean, I've talked to, people right now that we're my book, and we, Covington, Kentucky is just right across the river here, and I mean, it's a large city, just like, Cincinnati. Not as big as Cincinnati, but it's a pretty good sized city. And there's no woods around there, other than your basic parks. And there was a guy that was jogging, and he seen one. I mean, it was on the sidewalk, in the city, and dog, at first, until it stood up and it actually ran towards him. And I've got the drawing of it that he did, and I mean, this was in the city, and and this was 4 years ago, and he never told anyone. And it was just by chance we were talking, and he told me about it. And it's all the time you hear stories like that where people just they keep to themselves. They don't want to be known as wisecracks and stuff, and people laughing at them and things like that. It's the whole thing. It's just like you're in a group, and you start talking. You do Bigfoot research or Dogman research or UFO research, and everybody's kind of like giggling about it. But when they get you one-on-one, they're going to tell you their story. It's either their story or someone in their family or somebody that they know or something like that. But it's just they don't want to come out and tell things. Now things I think are a little bit different now because a lot more people are more open on telling their stories and things, right? Because society is just so overwhelmed with so much stuff dealing with ghosts and UFOs and stuff like that on TV. People they're more open about it now. But when it comes to like the werewolf stuff, it's not as, I mean, it's going to be the new cryptid, right now. It's getting real popular. There's a lot of new TV shows, that's on TV, dealing with werewolves and stuff. But it's more of the transition werewolf, where
Well, do you think it's just something new? Okay, I mean, Bigfoot's been out there for a while. You have the Jersey Devil.
It's not that. I think that a lot more people are seeing them, and the stories are coming out, is what it is. We just had a case of, excuse me, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, where this farmer goes out to his farm area, and he sees that he had 2 large horses and he had 2 ponies, and the 2 ponies are gone. And he's seen part of the fence that had the metal railing was pushed down, and no man could have done it. Literally, no man could have done it. So he's looking for the 2 ponies. The guy then, put, the fence down, got in, and pulled the ponies out one at a time, and killed them. But whatever it was chasing the 2 larger horses around, because they both had scratch marks on the back, and one of them had a really large gash going down the neck. And I posted pictures of them on the DFRO's Facebook page. One of the horses that was attacked, and the guy was hearing howling sounds, the night prior to the attack. But the Division of Wildlife showed up along with the sheriff's department, but they were like basically covering up stuff. They're destroying the tracks that were there. He's seen the Division of Wildlife on his property in camo, with assault weapons, looking for whatever it is. you know, and things. So he thinks it's, you know, some type, you know, possibly like a dog man or something like that that did it. You know, it didn't eat them. That's the thing. It killed them. And that's the thing about dogman sightings. You know, they kill and they mutilate animals. It's not that so much that they eat them. And like in Germantown, Ohio, what the problem that they're having there, you know, it's mutilating cows. It's ripping cows apart. And there's nothing in Ohio. There's no predators in Ohio that's big enough to attack a cow. You know, we do have bear here, and we do have big. They're good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, cows are stupid. You can walk right up on a cow. You know, cows are known, like if a barn catches on fire, they'll stay there. You know, and I mean, they're stupid animals. You know, but the point of it is, you know, they're big animals, and it's going to take something big and nasty to do what they did. You know, and a bear, I don't think is capable of doing it.
Right, it's true.
Know, and I don't think yeah, but I don't think a big. Yeah, you know, and I don't think a big cat is, you know, it would be, because a cat would have ate on it, or a bear would have ate on it, but whatever this thing was, you know, was just killing to be killing.
Well, now, you know, I'm gonna put this out there. Are you thinking that a werewolf is a werewolf all the time, or are we going to go back to the old Hollywood version of the werewolf?
No. See, the whole thing with transformation is like, it's physically impossible. You know, it would kill you. I mean, your bones would have to be cartilage in order to do any type of transformation. I mean, it would literally, you know, destroy your organs. You know, I mean, it's just no way, you know, transformation. I mean, these are flesh and blood, you know, animals that it's a species, you know, of its own. If it's a canine type species, or if it's just, you know, some type of, you know, other species that looks like a canine, you know, it's got the characteristics of, you know, of a wolf, you know, where it's got the snouts, the high airs, you know, you know, the backward legs, like, you know, like dogs and things like that. The tracks are very dog looking. You know, so it could be a species of canine that walks upright. You know, because I mean, all through Native American culture, you know, all through the United States, they talk about these creatures, you know, as well as they talk about Bigfoot.
Right, exactly.
Do you think that maybe some of the Texas sightings of possible werewolves could be maybe chupacabra? Or vice versa?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Do you think that some of the southern state sightings could they be confusing like a chupacabra with a werewolf, or vice versa?
But the blue dot all for, and it's too small to do what most of these dogman sightings are doing, you know, in different parts of the United States, you know. So I don't think, you know, that the blue dogs down there, the chupacabra or whatever, is the same thing. I think it's a whole different species.
Well,
and that's not really, you know, it's definitely a canine. They know it's a canine. It's more of a blue-gray dog,
right,
species. It's just they gave it the name chupacabra. I mean, it just really has nothing to do with the chupacabra.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Some down here, it's hold my beer and watch this. So I mean, is it possible that they've run across an actual werewolf and just threw out the word chupacabra because that's the first thing that came to their head.
You're breaking up there. Can you repeat that?
I'm wondering if some of the werewolf sightings weren't mislabeled as chupacabra.
Oh, I don't think so, because I mean there's a difference in the size of these things. I think a lot, some of the Texas Bigfoot, sightings were probably misidentified, or some of the Dogman sightings could have been misidentified as Bigfoot sightings in Texas.
Right.
I'll that, but as far as
I don't know if anybody's talking at this point. Somebody's we're getting some kind of messed up interference here.
It's blipping in.
Recently I watched a show, not by choice, but then I kind of got interested in it. I think Rick's got this thing that he finds the most boring show that you can possibly find on television, just so I'll leave the room. But it had to do with, I don't know if it was called coy wolves. There's a lot of them in the Chicago area where they're not exactly coyotes and they're not exactly wolves.
Yeah, they're hybrids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm taking. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. They were just a breakup there.
Where I was taking this is, going through your book and all the sightings that people have had. You've got some that are standing on 2 legs, some are on 4, some's got a longer snout, some's got this kind of fur. Do you think maybe this kind of hybrid thing is going on that's creating this?
You talking about the Dogman?
Yeah. Because if you've got this half coyote, half other thing going on, it could also be a possibility that there are things that are being created like that.
I'll tell you a story here. Well, I don't know if I should say it over the radio. I'll probably have the NSA come and kick my door down, but I'm not. I'll keep the story to myself. But maybe so. You see, with the thing of it is with these hybrids, what they're having with these wolves, they're much larger. The heads are much larger. The snouts are much larger, and they're much larger. And excuse me. And the problem is they're actually more dangerous than a full breed wolf. And they're seeing them in areas where they shouldn't be. We've got them here. They've been sighted here in Ohio. They're huge. Now, as far as, like I said, with the dog man, I just think, like you said, I just think it's a species that's always been here. But is it a king? I just think, and I talked to someone that become he walks upright. That is more intelligent than most other canines. It's definitely some type of wolf, breed. The hands are not like paws. They're a little bit more human. The front paws are, so they're able to grasp their prey. They can still move on all fours. But they can move just as fast on 2 legs. Their body structures very human. Like a wolf would. A wolf would have like a smaller satchel crest. at the back of the base of the skull. It would need that for, the strength of the jaw to break the bones, when it eats and things. A dog man probably wouldn't, because he probably wouldn't use his mouth so much for killing as much as he would use his front paws were for, and things. It's like I said, I think it's just that, that's the type of species that it is, and there's not too many people that actually do the research on the dogman stuff. There's probably just a handful of people that do it. There's not a whole lot. I'm talking with Destination Truth, or Destination America. Excuse me, I hate that show, Destination Truth. Destination America. About doing a show, on werewolves, and because I think people would be interested in it, and going out doing investigations on dogman sightings and stuff. Because, like I said, I know it's a new exciting cryptid. It's going to be the new cryptid that people are interested in, that they want to hear about. It's the whole thing. It's just like, you watch a TV show on, Bigfoot, and you go out and take your trash, you don't think twice about it. You watch a show on werewolves or something like that, and, when you take your trash out, you look around, because that's something that could kill you. People don't think about, Bigfoot as a, something that could kill you. It's more something that would just sneak around the building. This is something different. When Paranormal Witness did their show called The Wolf Pack, which was a really interesting case that came out of Maine. That was their number one rated show. Monster Quest, their number one rated shows were, their two werewolf shows that they did. And, Monsters and Mysteries, their highest rating show was the werewolf show. I mean, people were eating this stuff up, and what I'm trying to convince, Destination America is that, it can be done right. Guys running around in the woods, hey, there's a sighting, and you have them running to the car, and, speeding to it. I mean, you can't do it like that. It has to be done right. It has to be done professionally. Something more like, UFO hunters or something, the way that was done. You can't do it like chasing UFOs, or do it like, like I said, mountain monsters and stuff like that. I mean, you can't do it like that craziness. You'll never sell it. You got it. I mean, this is a serious subject. There's a lot, one of the most interesting cases is the Land Between the Lakes. I don't know if you ever heard about that one. This took place back in the 80s. And Land Between the Lakes is a campsite, or a park, rather, that sits on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And found a trailer, mobile home that was completely ripped apart. Blood everywhere, blood handprints inside. The fire was kind of still going a little bit. They found, the bodies completely ripped apart, half eaten. They knew there was a child. There was child clothing, so they were looking for the child. They found the child in the tree, half eaten. And they found large canine prints. At that particular site, and they've been having a lot of. They've had over 100 sighters. Very interesting case, and the cops said the government guys show up, you know, uh, make it all go away. You know, they know something's there.
Now, where did you say this is?
It's called Land Between the Lakes. It's
in Kentucky.
It's Kentucky,
Kentucky.
Tennessee area.
LBL.
Yeah.
It's actually in Kentucky, but it's right there on the Kentucky-Tennessee border.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it's real nice. Real nice.
So they're not sure what's doing it, or they do know and they're covered. They're
Well, they do. I mean, that's the biggest thing. They know what's going in. That's their reports come up there where a lot of people go to clean up there. A lot of a couple of dirt bikers have actually, with this thing, grabbed at them. Yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's been a lot of sightings. And these are daylight sightings, and that's the thing about dogman sightings. A lot of them are daylight sightings. Not so much nighttime sightings, but this is a known attack. The only one that I've ever heard of where it actually attacked and eaten human flesh.
Yeah, because most of the articles that I read in your book here, it's more or less when they're spotted they take off.
Yeah.
I think there was just a couple where it kind of chased people, but then it veered off into the woods.
Yeah, there's one case in Akron where there was a hunter, an older gentleman in his 60s that went out. He's hunting. He comes out of the tree line, goes into a circular opening area, just to cross through it, and he said 5 of them came out at him, and circled him, and only one of them, showed aggression towards him, and they were all upright, and they kind of backed them out, more or less out of the woods, they didn't attack him or anything like that. They just kind of backed him out, got him out of the area.
Yeah, and that wasn't really all that long ago. It was a few years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I know years ago now.
And also, most of the sightings, they're not out in packs. It's just singular. So.
No, see well, there's only a handful. I mean, the only ones I know of only 3 where it's been more than one. The case in Maine that was on Paranormal Witness, this particular case there, and there was another case where there was 3 of them, and those are the only ones I've ever heard of where they were actually in a pack. Everything has always been individual. But who's to say that you don't yeah.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, we lost you there. I mean, you were there, but I don't know if your mic needs adjusting, but you're kind of breaking up on us.
You'll hear a thud when he moves too far and it quits.
I know, I'm reading your lips at this point. Getting good at it. I was reading up about the Native Americans. You wrote a section in there about that, and I have to say the Native Americans, they always seem to get it right. They kind of know things without having all the instruments that we use, and they talk about something called let's see if I can get this right. Skinwalkers, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, skinwalkers. So, what's that about?
something a little bit different, than dogmen. Skinwalkers is something that can is a shift changer that can change into a bird or a wolf or another animal or into an old woman or an old man or something like that. That's what a skinwalker is. But it's still in some cultures they believe that the dog man is a skinwalker, where a human can change into that particular species. And it's not like that with all Native American cultures. It's just on a few of them, because it's the same thing with the Wendigo. They believe like the Wendigo on some cultures is the dog man. It's the same thing, which other cultures look at the Wendigo as something completely different. It's just all in translation, through different cultures. But and that's only with the dog man, which and skinwalkers. But when it comes to the Bigfoot, it's all the same throughout all the cultures, which I find interesting. But only when it comes to the dog man, each culture is different. They have different, like you said, it's all in translation.
Mm-hmm. Robin,
but in reality, it all comes out to the same thing.
Robin's been trying to get us to ask you this, and I look back and I lose it, and she's back. She says, ask about Nefer, N-E-F-E-R, and does he associate it with them?
Who?
N-E-F-E-R.
She says the question is he familiar with Nefer, who is supposed to return to the earth, tall, black-headed dogmen? And do you associate that with the dogman?
I've heard about that. Someone asked me about that. We were talking about that the other day, and oh wow, I can't remember that conversation because that was more dealing with the UFO stuff, because that was more dealing with ancient Egypt with the their gods, the one with had the dog head. I can't think what the that one leaves me really stumped. But I don't know. I don't know if that one, I think, like you said, I think that was more UFO related. I don't think I.
Yeah, she's saying
the
she's writing in here. She's writing in here. Egyptians say they were aliens who came from the heavens.
The what?
Egyptians say they were aliens who came from the heavens.
Apparently, it's from the Bible.
Yeah, but also they also believe that a lot of those they had the human bodies and animal heads were possibly where they were genetically altered, or they were. I like that too, and things. But like I said, I don't think that has anything to do with the dog man, the dog man stuff. If that's the same thing I'm thinking of. I know what kind of what you're talking about, but I don't think that, like I said, has anything to do with the dog man. I think that, like I said, that's more of the UFO stuff.
Yeah, most likely. We had this talk before with the Bigfoot, how there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Ohio. Like it's kind of up there. And a lot of the reports in your book are from Ohio, and a lot of sightings there. Why do you think Ohio is such a hot spot?
which was just the beginner's guide, kind of like teaching you how to be a researcher. Ohio has been known for a lot of sightings that's been coming out. Okay, that I know as far as documented sightings in books, in newspapers and things like that. There's a book out that by an author by the name of William Vanderbilt, and this guy wrote about Ohio in the early or late 1800s, rather, going into the turn of the century, and very well-known author. Back. And he talks about, Bigfoot, and in this book, the first documented, that I know of a book documenting a Bigfoot, describing this thing, describing it as, a gorilla, and Sinbad's Old Man of the Mountain, and describing what the thing does, and like I said, I've never seen a book, ever do that, a biography, an author ever doing that, and like I said, I've done research, on old books on, from different states and things like that, and no one else has ever done it, and I think that's what gave, Ohio, that made it so interesting, because they gave the name Majestic, is what they called it. And what happened is Ohio has a lot of German, we have a lot of Irish, and we have a lot of Dutch. Okay, so the Dutch that came over to Ohio came from South Africa. The ones that colonized, or the ones that were living in South Africa, okay, at the time. And these guys who were in South Africa were seeing these Bushmen, or Bujesmen, the South bow, okay? So that's how they get Bujesmen. We're seeing gorillas, okay, and they were calling them Bushmen, okay, because they never seen them before. And this is not in South Africa, but when they were exploring further in Africa and stuff. So when the New World, where a lot of people were coming over to the New World and stuff like that, they would come over and they were, moving in the Ohio Valley and stuff, and they were seeing these Bigfoot, and they were calling them Bujesmens, because that's the only way they can describe them to what they were seeing, the gorillas and things. So that is how, the grass man kind of switched from Bushman to grass man, and so we have like the name that actually has a history to it, going all the way back, for its roots and from South Africa, which I think is kind of
yeah, exactly. Well, before we go any further, we're out of time.
Yep.
Which is always so sad.
Yeah.
But, we'll drag you on here again, and we'll get on to another subject.
Yeah, next time, give me a little bit of time so I don't mess up the dates and stuff. It's just been a bad date. I tell you, I've got sinus issues, and I'm on medication, and I'm like, Louie,
you need a tissue?
No, I need something. I tell you what, I took my medication right before you guys called. I was like, I'm like floating. I don't know what I said. I could have been talking
we
about it.
got you recorded. We could blackmail you. We heard you throughout this interview. You were saying how you were going to fly Kim and I out onto your next either Bigfoot or werewolf hunt.
Yep.
And you're going to supply us with as much cheesecake as we want.
Oh, did I?
Yep.
Yeah, we have it recorded here, so. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And to get your new book, which is Werewolf Myths and Legends, I got mine on Amazon. Is that the best place for people to go?
Yep. And Kim, I need you to send me your address again if you can.
I can have it to you in 2 seconds.
All right, send it to me on Facebook.
You got it.
All right, thank
you.
Take care and feel better.
You guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
You know I'm going to be afraid to take the trash out now.
Give me a second. I'm making sure he gets my address right now.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to be afraid to take the trash out. I'll be looking, you know. And like sometimes we take pictures of when we're out on investigations and we get like eyeballs of cats and things. I'll be like, Kim, look at this. I think we got some werewolves. I'm a dog man.
I know. I think I have one in the ceiling at my shop right now.
I don't know. There's got some weird things there. Anyway, next week we are having a returning guest back on, Dr. Susan Chomsky, and this time she has another new book out, and it has to do with chakras. And that's been a subject I've been wanting to hear about because I read about it, and I got a massage, I told you a few weeks ago, and the massage person was telling me that she was working on my chakras. And I'm like, yay, this way I got somebody working on my chakras, and we get to do a whole title about it. So, and then coming up the end of February 24th, we have Martha Decker coming on. So,
okay.
Some good things coming up the rest of the month.
Yeah, poor Martha. She was supposed to come out and play with us this weekend, but something happened with her mom.
Ah, okay. And I know you've been posting on Facebook. There's an event coming up for you guys.
There is April 12th. You're going to make me look. Is Histories, Haunts, and Legends. Yes, it is April 12th. Histories, Haunts, and Legends in Jefferson, Texas. Martha Hazard Decker, Stephen LaChance, who I finally get to meet, Dakota Lawrence, Kathy Nance, Selena Roan, who is a PEN host, us, Eric and I, PEN hosts, Larry Flaxman, and who am I missing? I'm missing someone. I apologize.
I know it's coming to me. Michael
Mitchell Whittington.
That's it. Yeah, because I met him out there in Texas when I was at the
Yes,
other
he
one.
bought your book.
That's right. Also, March 29th, I'll be at it again. I'll be heading to the Shanley Hotel along with Mark Sarro, and we'll be doing an investigation. Anybody interested, go to the www.shanleyhotel.com and reserve your spot today.
And there's all kinds of new clothing and jewelry and purses and perfumes and all kinds of stuff at MetallunaBoutiqueandStones.com.
That's right. Well, that's it for me. And I know you got Friday night coming up. I'm making you work again.
The host from Spiritual
It's
Sense.
the host from Spiritual Sex, because it is Valentine's night.
Woo!
Never show up on TV.
Can we take it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, I think we're good to go.
But with that, we're going to say goodnight, and everybody, do not trust Robin if she promises you a cupcake. Just saying.
Just saying as always. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Didn't want it to be known, so we have it on audio and video and a lot of other good things. So it was fun. It was a great weekend, and can't wait to go back as usual.
It's always fun up there. course, it's always some bizarre weather out there, too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to one of the staff. She said, weren't you the guys that were here during that blizzard for Halloween? I said, we were there for the blizzard for Halloween. We were there for Hurricane Sandy and a couple other weird storms. So, but it was really pretty. Yesterday it did snow, and I really didn't have plans of doing anything other than hanging out. And it turned out to be quite fun because some people at the last minute actually came and made reservations, and we kind of did a little mini paranormal investigating thingy last night. So it was really good. But, you know, great big thank you to Florence for showing us again yet another wonderful, magnificent time, and her staff. Mark Sarrow and group. Oh, and we have a new member to our non-member team, and that's Tim Mothman Mueller. He's now our new video guy. And Mark's wife, Jess, and of course, Robin. And I never, ever give shout-outs to Rick, my husband. He did an excellent job with all the cameras and the cabling, so it takes a lot to put a production like that together, and we managed to pull it off. So thank you, guys.
Yay, Vinny!
Yeah. So, we have something
Wait,
cool.
I have to ask, did you like the Sand Angel?
Did I what?
back up.
Ah. Well, hopefully, did you review any audio yet?
No.
Maybe you'll get something really good. Be cool if the gentleman in the storage closet talked to you somewhat.
Yeah, I'm trying to get... My main goal was to try to get the name of the second guy in there now.
Okay.
Well, I always say good morning and goodbye to him, but I don't have his name to properly communicate with him.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know Miss Ann, I know Mr. O, I just don't know the third person.
You'll find out. Well, my weekend was pretty exciting. Really was totally different than what I'm used to when I go to the Battlefield Bed and Breakfast in Gettysburg. Normally, we're communicating with a lot of Civil War soldiers, but this time, apparently, the people who used to live in the farm before and after and during had some things to say, and it was really quite different. Lucky enough, we were joined by Robin Marie, who she's amazing when she starts channeling and she picks up spirits. And I got to tell you, Florence Tarboff, who we had on last week as our guest, she definitely floored her. Florence thought she could skip something in a recipe that she was making, and a spirit came right up and told Robin that she was missing an ingredient. And when we went down and mentioned it to her, it was just so funny that we knew about it, and she
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Just Saying. It is February 10th, 2013. And I'm Kim, and I'm joined here as I am every week by my frostbitten, snowflaked co-host, Mary.
Well, that's pretty accurate. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm all right.
If you notice, I'm wearing my frozen tundra sweater tonight. When I show up with this one or the green one, you know I'm cold.
Right?
Well, it's not that it's actually cold outside. It's just I spent the weekend at a wonderfully warm environment and came home to the refrigerator. So I have to get adjusted.
Yeah, there is that.
Well, it seems like we both had a busy weekend.
Yours was busier, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's talk about yours first.
There wasn't a whole lot to talk about ours. We investigated the shop, and we were going along swimmingly, got out the box and, doing our thing, and flipped it from FM to AM, and apparently AM, they had a lot of nasty things to say that I will not repeat.
So it was happening on the AM network.
Yeah, but as soon as the AM started getting ugly, the shop pretty much just kind